All right, so it's time for part two. I did already record part two, but I'm going to re-record part two because I left out some things and I want to add some things. So first I want to say, when I said that I thought he was autistic, because I can either confirm or deny that he is autistic, right? And I said, well, I'm an Aquarius. What I mean by that is most Aquariuses are sapiosexuals, meaning that the easiest or the quickest way to get to us is through our brain. We need to be mentally stimulated, okay? We love to learn, and we love to learn new things. And so if you are able to teach me something that I don't already know, I am in awe, because I already feel like I know a lot. And a lot of Aquariuses do. I wouldn't say that we're like know-it-alls, but we know a lot, okay? So if you are a very intelligent person, we are drawn to that. And if you can stimulate our minds, we are so there. So that's what I meant by him being autistic, but I was okay with that or me thinking that he's autistic and me being okay with that because I'm an Aquarius. Because I'm going to tell you, he's like Rain Man, okay? He's a poker dealer because math is so easy to him, okay? His mom thought he was going to be an engineer because he can do numbers in his head like that. If you've ever seen Rain Man, that Tom Cruise movie, if you haven't seen it, see it. Like, he's like that. So I was in awe of his brain, okay? So I was automatically attracted to his brain, and then I was able to find other characteristics that turned me on as well. So I wanted to just give a little clarification for that. But after he told me about him getting his toenails painted, I just chucked it up to him. You know, basically that's how he shows his creative side. Now, the sad part is that his family is very religious, so they were unaware that he gets his toenails painted. He would wear socks around the house. He never wore slides. He never wore sandals. He always wore sneakers. The only people, not even his friends, knew that he got his toenails painted. So the only people that knew that he got his toenails painted were people that he slept with. And I'm be honest with you, I can't even confirm that. So I just know that I knew because I asked. He then turned the question on to me, and I told him that I deal with bouts of depression, anxiety, and I have panic attacks. And those are the things that not a lot of people know, but he should know, especially if he's going to be dealing with me. You know, I did let him know I had been, you know, basically abstinent for 6 years, and if he's gonna date me, he needs to date me with intention, and he needs to take me seriously, because I will blow up his world. I will go crazy, ham, no holds barred, if he screwed me over. And that was it, because I was cool, single, okay? I was straight. All right. Now we went to a little spot afterwards, after PF Chang's, and we talked and we asked questions. And at this point in time, I told him my sexuality, which is bisexual. And I told him, just to make him comfortable, that I'm never with a man and yearn for a woman. I'm never with a woman, I yearn for a man. Also, I had not been with a woman in years. Okay. But I've been with more men than women. But I would never cheat on one sex with another sex. I don't believe in cheating, period, with anyone. But just to let him know those types of things, right? And I did ask him his sexuality at this time. So we're still on our first date. And he said he was heterosexual. I asked him if he ever been with a man. He said he had never been with a man. I could only do and take him at his word. Okay. Now, I was in Florida during this time for around 35 days. So we went on dates on dates on dates. I did have a bout of depression. And he came, he saw me, we sat in the car. He just sat in silence because I told him I just want to be silent. And I put my head on his shoulder. He was definitely my rock. He was a gentleman, meaning that he still opened car doors for you, meaning that he opened the car door for you to get in, and he was the one to get out the car first and come around and open your door. He was the one that if you were in the store together, if it rained while you were in the store together, he would go get the vehicle, bring it up to the door for you to get in. He was not allowing you to walk in the rain. These are things that today men miss. And so even little things like this can basically pull at your heartstrings when you're a woman, and it pulled at mine. During the 35 days, we went on vacation together, and that was the first time we became sexually active. I did have him go to CVS and get a rapid test, do an HIV rapid test, because I actually had paperwork. Okay, he did not have paperwork, so I was like, look, you go get a rapid test, okay, because you want this pom pom. Oh, I know you're gonna spend that $50 or $60 for that rapid test, okay? So, and he did, okay? We sat there, he did it in front of me, we watched for the results, and it was negative, so it was a go, okay? After that, we were like rabbits. Every time we saw each other, rabbits. It didn't matter, in the car, on top of the car, rabbits, okay? Eventually, I went back home. I went back to Jersey, and we kept in contact, and, you know, we were in a relationship. By the time we were sexually active the first time, we were in a relationship together. And so, we're talking, having lots of phone sex. He would send money to me, just to send money to me. If I needed it, if I didn't even want, he just did. He was just very caring like that, okay? He was definitely one where he felt like he would take care of his woman, and I appreciated that. He did come and see me in Jersey, okay? And, you know, it's a long drive from Florida to Jersey. I've done it a couple of times. It's long, but it can be done. If you like road trips, if you like scenery. He had gotten a rental vehicle. He drove. And this was his first vacation ever. He had never even taken a vacation. So this was his first vacation ever. And so he came and he saw me in Jersey, and he stayed for about, I think it was a week. And I don't know, from all the phone sex we were having and all that, I would have thought that when he got there, we would have been rabbits. But that was not the case. And I always had I don't know why. I really don't know. I mean, I do know why now. Then I couldn't tell you why. But his sexuality was always in the back of my head. I could not let it go. Even though I heard him say he was heterosexual. Even though I heard him say he had never been with men. He does this kissy face a lot. The flick of the wrist, the painting of the toenails, I chalked up to his creativity side. There was still things that I could not let it go. It just gnawed at me. It gnawed at me, okay? And so when he came, we were not like rabbits. And he didn't touch me for like the first 24 hours. And I'm like, I just found that weird as hell. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And, you know, because when I'm in a relationship, I'm a nymph. I ain't gonna hold you. When I'm single, I'm not. I don't believe in one-night stands. I don't have one-night stands. In order to get to my body, we gotta be in a relationship. That's just how I am. And I don't mean like you get to just say, oh, we're in a relationship after 24 hours just so you can have me. No, I mean like it's got to be some time. But when I'm in a relationship, I'm a nymph. And my love language is touch. I love affection. I love touch. That is the biggest thing for me. So, us not going at it and having sex in the first 24 hours was also pissing me the fuck off. I ain't gonna hold you. And so, anyway, after we had sex, and this was the first time he had me climax. I had never climaxed with him before this point. During that climax, it opened up a portal, and that's the only thing I can. This is for my spiritual baddies. You get me, okay? For y'all that don't get it, you don't get it. But basically, it opened up a portal with that climax. It was something that him and I both we felt, okay? And like he was even like, "Oh shit, was that you?" And I was like, "Yup." You know what I mean? Like it opened up something because of what happened next. He's at the top of the bed. I'm at the bottom of the bed, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just sitting there. And till this day, I don't know if we were talking. I don't even know if we were talking or if I was just sitting there looking at him. He was looking at me, and I don't know. But I heard clear as day on my left side, he's been with men before. Just like someone talking to me. And I looked at him, and I said, "You've been with men before." And I didn't form it in a question. I said it as a statement. And he just looked at me, and I could still see his face from today. Because even though we were in a dark room, there was enough light coming from the window because my altar was in my bedroom. There was enough light coming from the window, and my altar was on my left side. Now that I think about that, the altar was on my left side next to the window, and to where I could see his face from the moonlight. And he looks at me, and his mouth just drops, and he's trying to figure out what to say because there's silence. He's just silent, and I didn't form it in a question. I made a statement, and then so I say it again. I said, "You've been with men before," and he says, "I've been with one man." Left hand side again. Spirit says, "Clear as day." So I look. No, it's been more than one man. So I look back at him. No, it's been more than one man. Now he's looking at me like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Right? Because he was like, how? My best friend doesn't even know this. Like, nobody knows this. Like, I'm the only one that knows this. He says, "I've been with two men. I've been with two." And then all of a sudden, Spirit stops talking. So I was like, okay, there we go. And I said, "Tell me about it. What happened?" And he tells me he got drunk one night with a gay coworker at the gay coworker's house. And he drank so much that he blacked out. He remembers waking up by the toilet, on the floor, passed out. And then the next thing he knows, he wakes up and he's on the coworker's bed, and the coworker is giving him fellatio. I can tell you, he did not say, "I punched him, we got a fight, I beat that man up, I walked the fuck out the house, I was pissed the fuck off." Like, I can tell you none of that happened. I can also tell you that I don't remember him saying, though, this on whether he let the guy finish. But there was no physical, like, no, there was none of that. But I cannot remember if I asked him if he let the guy finish or if he told me if he let the guy finish. I can tell you that. But I can tell you from what I'm about to say, and as we keep moving on, you can probably speculate on what happened, on whether he let the guy finish or not. So then I said, oh, so then he says, and after that, I thought I was gay. So speculate the ending to the first one with that, okay? So then I said, well, why did you think you were gay? And he was like, well, I wasn't having all that great, with dating. It wasn't that good. Women weren't, they weren't checking for me. I would get first dates. I wouldn't get second dates. And in my head, I could never think of someone saying because they kept striking out with the sex that automatically think they were a different, this is what he's saying to me. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So then I said, tell him about the second time. So he says, well, then after, I hit up a transsexual on Plenty of Fish, and I go back to that person at that house and, have sex with that person. Okay. And then after that, I realized, my family is religious, being gay is a sin. And so I repented and I prayed the gay way. I prayed not to be gay. And so I'm not gay. I need to let you guys know, at this point in time, I'm already in love. I'm also crying at this point in time. I'm hurt. But I'm not hurt for the reason that you may think I'm hurt. But we'll get into that in a minute. Let's stay right here. My oldest brother, he's gay, right? And you would say I never had to have a gay best friend because my oldest brother is gay and he's my friend. Like, yeah, like we're close, right? And so, but however, he has swam in the poom poom. He has 2 kids from the poom poom, okay? I asked him recently during this creation of this. I called him. I want you to hear what he had to say before I go any further. I want to ask you a real question now. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the video, so let me start it off. All right, so I'm speaking to my brother. This is my oldest brother, okay? And me and him, when we talk, okay? And I want to ask him his opinion on something. He doesn't even know what the hell I'm about to ask him, but I want to ask him. I told you I wanted to get you real and raw and just, So you said you've been keeping up with my stuff. So you saw that I started a series on how I dated a DL man. You at least saw that first. Okay, all right. So look, if I was able to talk to you back then, you probably like, sis, I don't know about this, So I want to ask you a question because I have my own thoughts on it, but you saw in the first part, if you went to my YouTube and you saw the full first episode, you see that he gets his toenails painted. He gets them painted in colors, okay? To me, that wasn't really that big of a red flag because I was like, well, he's just being expressive. You know what I mean? Like, that's just his way of, expressing himself. But he had a lot of other, like, tendencies, like, to me, as a woman, flick of the wrist. When he takes pictures, he sticks his lips out, pouty lip, and there was another one I can't remember right now, but I know I have it in the video. But there was other things where I was just like, what we doing? So I always question his sexuality. So one night after we finished having sex, I'm sitting on the bed. And at this point in time, I'm really spiritual. Like I have my altar set up. I meditate. I've been learning my spirituality for 6 years. I was not messing with nobody. Okay, really into my shit, really into my craft. And I'm sitting at the end of the bed, and something whispers, a spirit whispers in my ear and says, he's been with men before. And I look at him in his face, and I say, it's not even a question. I say, you've been with men before. And his mouth drops, and he was like, I've been with one man. And then the spirit says to me again, no, it's been more than one. And so I look at him and I said, no, it's been more than one. And he's like, how do you know? Like, how he's thinking, right? He's like, what the fuck? What witch did I done got with? He's like, you know what I mean? He's right. He's like, how do you know this? He was like, I've never told not a soul, not even my best friend knows this. And so I was like, I was just told this. So we go into story time. Now, this is where I'm trying to ask you. He says that he was getting drunk with a coworker of his that was gay. He woke up next to the toilet because he had basically got drunk too much, right? And he was throwing up. And then the next thing he knows, he's laying in the bed and the dude is giving him fellatio. Later on, he thinks he's gay. So then he goes and he contacts a transsexual on Plenty of Fish and he hooks up with the transsexual. His excuse on why he's no longer gay or why he's not gay is that he prayed the gay away. His family is really religious, and he knows, and this is me repeating what he said. I know it's a sin. I know, so I prayed the gay away. Now, I'm going to give you my take, and then I want you to tell me your take, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? If I'm a heterosexual person, and let's say I have sex with someone of the same sex, right? And for the record, guys, sorry, just to give background, my brother has swam in the punani, okay? You know what I mean? You got 2 children, okay? So you right. Okay, so if I lay with someone of the same sex, if I don't like it, doesn't that solidify that I'm a heterosexual? If I start to think that I'm gay and I go and seek out again someone of the same sex, then you like it, right? Like, so I don't want to tell you what to say. So I want you to give me your feedback. I'm going to be quiet and I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay. I got my kids because I was fighting that side of me, but realizing I was gay, I'm big. So, he was about back and forth, because I'd be fighting myself. So I had to be.
And so I'm not wrong in thinking that even if he's not gay, he might be bisexual. But you still like you like men. Men is, or do you say you think he's gay?
Like, on that note, he's gay, but yet he's trying to fight his sexuality. They're trying to do a trans that look like a girl.
Okay.
So it's still the male form. I've seen her have the surgery, right?
No. I believe that when and to be honest with you, just I'm going back in memory, I believe it was just she might have had top surgery, maybe just the boobs, but still had the man down below.
A lot of the men get misunderstood because they feel though they date a woman, but they still got the man part, which they can dabble on both sides. You know, so they don't screw up their mental. Mm-hmm. But deep down, you still think want a man.
Right. Right. So
you gay, technically, you're gay.
You're gay. Okay.
But in their head, they can think they're not because she's a woman, and that woman is not a woman.
Right. Yeah, I know you and I, we used to have talks about transsexuals back in the day a lot. Remember when we went to that barbecue, the trans, and you didn't want to go. I had to drag you to go. You was like, I don't like these places. I don't like. This is not me. I was like, well, I want to go. You gotta come with me. Yeah. So, but okay. So I wanted to get your take on it because that's how I felt. I felt like, you know, if you did it twice and you thought you were gay, then you liked it. And I can't remember if he ever said that the guy finished. You know what I mean? When he first had his first encounter, I can't remember if but I would remember if he said, oh, I beat him up or I punched him. You know what I mean? That would be something I would remember. And I don't remember that. I don't remember him saying that.
You know, back in my time frame, I always figured guys, and I do get it. When you do drink, things do happen. Mm-hmm, you're drunk. But then when it's over with, you're like, oh, I ain't there. The alcohol is trying to blame on the alcohol. But there are sometimes it just loosens you up to go that step. Or like the scenario people say, it's drunk or you pass out, and somebody else suddenly your dead, you wake up and they go tell them stop. You don't tell them stop, you're going to keep going. You see what I'm saying? So you have to look at that too. And I tell what I'm saying. So you have to know that.
I know. That's why I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to get you real raw and uncut. That's why I said I didn't even want to tell you what I was going to ask you. I wanted, you know, because I know that you would keep it real, and I know that you have had experiences. You know what I mean, with straight men. And